he has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
You just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw,
He liked sparring.
Yeah.
When I watched it, which, you know, look, I paid for it. They got me. I thought it was going to be a real fight.
You know, but me, I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm just gonna keep it 100, man. Jake Paul is fugazi. He's fake.
That's how you feel.
Truly feel. I'll bust him up and his trainer in the same night. 2 for 1.
Joe Rogan reacts with disbelief as Anthony Joshua reveals that Jake Paul pushed for a scripted fight. Joshua explains he only agreed on the condition it'd be a genuine bout with real risk. Rogan points out that Paul's previous wins have often faced claims of choreography and overly cooperative opponents. Critics argue those victories inflated records and rankings, fueling title discussions without true elite competition, leaving fans questioning the legitimacy and motives behind the spectacle and sparking widespread debate in sports circles.
Yeah.
You know, like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for
But
competition.
it hasn't. Yeah.
He's also nuts, right? Just
Yeah.
the fact that he's willing to fight the 2-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
A guy who's gigantic in his prime,
Gigantic.
built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stay.
Joe Rogan says the fight appeared more like a controlled sparring session than a brutal war. He explains that while there were moments of tension, it never felt like serious damage was likely. Rogan adds that boxing can turn ugly very quickly, so seeing both fighters walk away without major injuries is a positive result. He emphasizes that safety matters more than hype and is relieved no one absorbed heavy shots that could have lasting consequences.
You've known him for a long time. I've known him for a long time.
Chael Sonnen says the situation makes no sense when viewed logically. He explains that a fighter with only 11 professional bouts should not be sharing the ring with an experienced Olympic medalist. In Sonnen's view, the gap in skill, experience, and ring IQ is far too large to overlook. He also notes that the weight difference makes the matchup even harder to justify, as the more seasoned fighter was not only beyond Jake Paul's usual level of competition but also naturally heavier. Sonnen argues that in genuine competitive boxing, commissions and trainers would never approve such a pairing under normal circumstances. To him, the matchup raises serious questions about authenticity and intent, and he suggests that when basic sporting logic is ignored, fans are right to question whether the fight is truly competitive or mainly designed for attention and promotion rather than real sport.
For Jake, or if I think that Joshua is more experienced or better, I believe I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion. Of course. This is before you get size in there, before you get professional world titles in there. A guy that's done this 11 times cannot go into the Olympic Games and medal. If boxing, in fact, should be believed. I was with Portnoy. I liked it. I liked how he said that. So, you know, that's how I feel too. Because I'm also cheering for Jake Paul. But I get it. And I know we're not going to win tonight. But that's a compliment to boxing. And it is very hard for people to digest that Anthony Joshua can't cut him off. He can't find him. He can't do anything with that reach. He can't go out there and rush him. He can't throw this kid in a corner and beat him up. That is disappointing to me. That is baffling to me. As an MMA guy, I will just share with you, that would not be a problem at all. At all. If a guy's running away from me, it would be absolutely no problem. And you could put the boundaries at the city line. You could put it at the state line. I will track him down. I will put him somewhere and I will beat the dog out of him. So in a ring, I get where that is really disappointing. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what happened. And then Joshua, by the way, has the right to turn to some other thing. Where I'm saying he had to cut him off, grab him, throw him in the corner, go beat him up. Well, I'm saying that Joshua has the right to go, I could feel some stuff. I knew it was going to come my way, right? For Joshua to say, well, I had the experience and yeah, he was moving and yeah, I could have cut him off a little different. But I didn't mind the way this was going. I didn't mind that he was running. I knew he would slow down. I knew he would come to me eventually. Like for that to be Joshua's mindset.
Joe Rogan points out that Jake Paul has always wanted to prove himself as a legitimate fighter by stepping into the ring and facing real competition. He emphasizes that Jake performs best when the challenges are genuine, not scripted or fixed. However, taking on Anthony Joshua is a completely different level of test. Rogan notes that since Jake has never faced someone with Joshua's size and power, it's impossible to judge his true stamina or how he would hold up in a full, high-intensity bout against an equally large and experienced opponent. He adds that while Jake has shown skill and speed, questions about his endurance and resilience against top-tier heavyweights remain unanswered, leaving fans intrigued but unsure.
We expect Jake Paul to be fighting like higher level competition. It's not because he has under 10 fights. It's because he talks a lot of shit.
Yeah, but that's also why we're talking about him.
And that's exactly true. But I think on both sides of the equation, we've got to like admit that a young fighter under 5 fights isn't fighting great competition. So
True.
if you're calling Jake Paul a legitimate boxer and then you're expecting him to do what legitimate boxers do, I'm not sure he's not doing that, and probably more.
That's what I'm saying about the knockout of Tyron Woodley, because it was just a regular boxer who's just coming up. And what does he have?
Tim Bradley openly calls out Jake Paul, saying he's fake and that his fights lack real competition. He argues that Paul's bouts often look orchestrated, with opponents appearing to follow a script instead of engaging in genuine competitive boxing. Bradley criticizes how these staged outcomes have helped Jake build a record that overstates his abilities. He warns fans not to be fooled by the spectacle, noting that while the events may be entertaining, they don't represent true boxing skill or real risk. According to Bradley, this approach harms the sport's integrity and sets a misleading example for aspiring fighters.
I can't knock you I can't knock your hustle. When you built something outside of boxing and you say, hey, yo, I'm coming over here to the sport now and I'm gonna pick and choose who I fight, y'all come follow me. If they follow him, man, I just understand what it is. I know what I'm looking at. You're not gonna fool me over here. Save that stuff for them other people, because I'm not gonna believe that I'm the face of, no, you're not the face of boxing. I'm not giving you that, because that's for a lifer.
But that's what he believes.
That's cool, I can't knock him for that. People believe a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying, you can do all the rah-rah stuff, that's your business. But I just know what I'm looking at, right? But on the monetary side and it being an event, the truth is that when he does fight, it does bring attention around the sport. People debate, they argue, people want to see the fight. Is it legit? Is it him and Mike Tyson? No, it's an event.
Daniel Cormier praised Jake Paul for his courage in stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua, acknowledging the major risk involved. While he initially joked that anyone would fight for $100 million, he still recognized the bravery it takes to face a seasoned heavyweight after previously competing against much lighter opponents. Cormier highlighted Paul's athleticism and skill, noting how his movement and strategy helped him avoid taking heavy damage from Joshua's powerful shots. He explained that constant movement and evasion drain energy, yet Paul managed to endure. Against an elite opponent, Cormier compared the challenge to wrestling, emphasizing the repeated effort and resilience required each time a fighter is pressured or knocked down. He concluded that Paul's performance showed boldness, adaptability, and commitment, proving that despite ongoing controversy around his career, he approached the fight with respect and courage for both the sport and his opponent.
That fight, what were your thoughts on that? I thought Jake Paul was a brave guy. Then I found out he made $100 million. I was thinking, well, anybody would fight for $100 million, but bro, he fought. I literally ran into Logan Paul in New York City, and I said to him, it was weird too, because I was going into a studio to interview Kamaru Usman for one of my shows, and Logan Paul was at the coffee shop. He's like, DC. I was like, what's up, Logan? Because he does a tremendous job in WWE. Yeah, Logan Paul does.
I don't watch WWE, but I know that.
Dude, you're huge. He might literally be the best professional wrestler in the world.
Really?
He's such an athlete, bro.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. But I'm just stroking him right now. I swear to God, bro, it's unbelievable how good the kid is.
Okay.
From the moment he started doing it, he was really good.
You can cut a promo, huh? Like,
He got what kids say. He's got a promo, but he's also good in the ring.
Okay.
He's really athletic. I said to him, I go, what type of safeguards do you have in place to make sure he doesn't get his head knocked off against Anthony Joshua? He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis, who weighed in at 137 2 fights ago. So now you're gonna go fight Anthony Joshua, who weighs all of 250? He said, all right. He said, he's gonna just fight him. I go, man, he's very bold. And then what happened was he ran a lot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Everybody goes, even Eddie Hearn goes, he did better than Francis. And I'm like, well, Francis didn't move around much. Francis thought he could actually fight him because of what he did to Tyson Fury, right? Couldn't, Tyson Fury might have overlooked him a little bit, and I think that's what happened. Like, he got caught with the right hand drop. Anthony Joshua was like, I'm not taking any chances with this guy. So he fought him, and he took him serious. But Francis didn't move. Jake did a good job of moving around for a long time. But all that moving costs energy. Right?
I mean, I used to spar with Robert Guerrero here in Gilwood.
Yep.
And I would go in and spar with him. I'd tell people that I would spar with him for his first 4 rounds. He would do 12 rounds.
Yep.
He would use me as his warm-up rounds.
Yep.
And I was in fight shape. I wouldn't go and spar unless I was ready to fight. Like, I was 2 or 3 weeks out from my... I was ready to fight. And by the 4th round, I was fucking exhausted. And he would just make me miss. You know, if you miss more, it's the right work. It makes you more tired.
Especially when you're throwing big punches like Jake was throwing.
Yeah.
And then wrestling. It's like shooting double legs and shit. Like, all you look like Dylan Davis. Oh, we're seconds, bro. All that wrestling was crazy, dog. I was like, bro, have you ever in my life seen that much wrestling in a boxing match?
It was Dylan Davis, Logan Paul all over again.
Every time he would fall, you got to get up.
Yeah.
Every time you shoot, you got to get up.
It makes you more tennis. It should be more iron off you. It's a worse.
I mean, and Anthony Joshua was shorter.
Eddie Hearn calmly reflected on the recent bout between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, sharing insight into how the fight unfolded. He explained that the strategy was always simple: stay patient, control the pace, and slowly wear Paul down before closing the show. Hearn noted that this plan was meant to limit unnecessary risk while still asserting control in the ring. According to him, everything went exactly as intended, highlighting Joshua's discipline and the value of a measured game plan over reckless aggression. He added that this careful execution allowed the fight to remain safe while still delivering the tension and excitement fans expected. That's it for today's videos. Stay tuned, and until next time.
He said before the fight, I'm going to break him down, and then I'm going to knock him out. And that's exactly what he did. I thought it'd be all over within 3 rounds. But, you know, when I got in the ring after, because I was shouting, just, you know, anywhere, arms. I got in, he went, what are you rushing me for? And I was like, oh, sorry. So, but like, obviously he knows what he's doing, and actually now quite pleased that we got the rounds, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw you said that. Really random, I was on Twitter and I saw Jake Paul's mum said she wants to get in the ring and punch you. She said she doesn't like the smug look on your face. She is promoting her book, so I'm not sure if she wants, you know. But did you see that? What did you think of that?
No, I was very sad because I couldn't have been nicer and more respectful of Jake and what he's done. And I think Logan's amazing. I think he's an incredible athlete. And I shook Jake Paul's dad's hand in the ring, you know. And if I would have seen Mum, I would have said, all right. But I think over the years, we've obviously had our beef, and she probably don't like me anyway. And I am probably a little bit smug. I wasn't smug after the fight because I would have been more smug if it was all over in a round. Yeah. So, no, I give Jake respect. And, yeah. Sorry, Jake's mum doesn't like me, but if she can send me a free book.